China versus the United States. I personally think America has already lost the long game.
I agree with this statement 100%. So let me summarize what the comment said. The commenter is mentioning that China is not speaking in, just rhetorics now anymore. They're addressing issues directly and without any fear. So what does it tell us about the stance of Chinese right now? The Chinese government is not playing around anymore because they realize, and they want the whole world to realize, that they've achieved, or they've come to a point where they won't be ever played with like dolls. They're not India, or they're not South American countries like Brazil or other countries or European countries that the US can just shoot around, kick around like it's nothing. So they're being very straightforward, and there are valid reasons behind it.
China's 15th Five-Year Plan has officially been approved. Full plan isn't out yet. An official communique was released today. It gave us a first look at China's priorities for the next 5 years, where the country is heading, what's changing, and why it matters. Basically, if you want to understand how China's political and economic system actually works, where its economy is heading, or you are thinking investing in China or doing business with Chinese, this video is for you. It's going to be a bit longer than usual, probably my longest one. So over the next 5 years, China will focus on making progress in these key areas. Let me walk you through them one by one. The first point is China should build a modernized industrial system and reinforce the foundations of the real economy, said the communique. Which means manufacturing in China was important, is important, and will continue to be important in the future. The plan also calls for building a modern industrial system driven by advanced manufacturing. And it's not just about factories. China also wants better, more efficient services and a modern infrastructure system to support all of that. And the second point is the country should achieve greater self-reliance and strength in science and technology and steer the development of new quality productive forces. I think it's pretty clear. With all the tariffs and complicated global environment, China wants to strengthen its own innovation, tackle key core technologies like making chips, and making sure tech and industry grow together. Another important point is all about developing education, technology, and talent. These three sectors as one. China believes that's the best way to truly boost its technological strength. That's why you see Chinese universities keep adding new majors every year. They are preparing the talents for the industries of the future. And third point is that it should build a robust domestic market and work faster to foster a new pattern of development, said the communique. Basically, the US is still the world's biggest market, and China is the second. But China's market still has a lot of room to grow, and China wants to unlock that potential. So if foreign investors are thinking about China in the future, there's still huge, untapped consumer potential. So at the same time, from my perspective view, this approach can also help offset the impact of tariffs. So China can keep its internal economy strong and reliable. Well, maybe one day China could even become the biggest market in the world. Who knows? The fourth point is that China should move faster to develop a high-standard socialist market economy and boost the momentum for high-quality development. Well, I've explained what socialism with Chinese characteristics is in my previous video, which also helps explain what a socialist market economy is. Anyway, the main goal is to make the market work well while having an active government that guides and supports, and also gets all kinds of business, including private companies, more active and more innovative. The fifth point is the country should promote high standard opening up and create new horizons for mutually beneficial cooperation. We talked about China wants to develop domestic market, and this sector is to connect more with the world, support the global trading system so that China and other countries can share opportunities and grow together. And of course, it means continue to build Belt and Road initiative with high standards and high partnerships. And six, it should accelerate agricultural and rural modernization and take solid steps to advance all around rural revitalization. Rural and agricultural development has always been a top priority for China, and it's been important in previous 5-year plans too. Over the next 5 years, the focus will be on integrating urban and rural areas, building on the success of poverty reduction, and making sure rural communities have modern living conditions. The goal is to become a strong agricultural country by improving farm productivity and quality, creating villages that are great to live and work in, and making policies that really help farmers. 6. China should refine its regional economic layout and promote coordinated regional development, according to the communique. China wants to make sure development is balanced across regions. That means more developed regions, provinces, and cities help support less developed areas. For example, when I traveled in Tibet, I saw a factory built with support from Shanghai and a building funded by the local government in my husband's hometown in Shandong, which impressed me a lot. China wants regions to work together and use land more efficiently. The eighth point is that the country should inspire the cultural creativity of the entire nation and foster a thriving socialist culture, which means China wants to build a modern socialist culture that inspires people, unites society, reflects strong values, and has international influences. The ninth point is that China should work harder to ensure and improve public well-being and promote prosperity for all, said the communique. Basically, the goal is to tackle the problems people face every day, make it easier for them to move around and find opportunities and improve overall living standards. And this means creating good jobs for everyone, making income distribution fairer, providing education that really works for people, strengthening social security, supporting better housing, improving public health, and gradually making basic public service more equal everywhere. Hence, the country should accelerate the green transition across the board in an effort to build a beautiful China. Carbon peaking and carbon neutrality are guiding goals, and China wants to coordinate efforts to cut emissions, reducing pollution, expand green spaces, and keep the economy growing, all while protecting the environment. I mentioned in one of my previous videos that when I first came to Beijing 10 years ago, there was smoke almost every day. I couldn't even see 10 meters ahead. But look at now. After 2 5-year plans, Beijing has blue skies almost every day. 5-year plans are long-term and effective. You can really see the results and differences over time. So in the next 5 years, the government plans to continue tackling pollution, improve ecosystems, build a new energy system, steadily reach carbon peak targets, and encourage greener ways of producing and living. 11th, it should modernize its national security system and capability and advance the Peaceful China initiative to a higher level. And that's why living in China always makes people safe, and it will continue to be safer. So it's good for you to come to China to travel by yourself. The 12th point is that China should work to achieve the centenary goals of the People's Liberation Army on schedule and modernize national defense and the armed forces, according to the communique. This one is about military. I'm not sure I'm the right guy to explain this, but after this year's military parade, I'm sure a lot of people get a clear look at China's military development. This is a brief introduction of China's next 5-year plan. Once the details plan comes out, I will do a deeper dive and explain it to you in more detail. So follow me for more perspectives from the East. I'm your Chinese economic insider. Talk to you later.
China versus the United States. I personally think America has already lost the long game. Not because of China's strengths, but because of America's mindset. Many US analysts like to say America lost its last chance to contain China in 2012. I disagree. The real problem isn't timing, it's strategy. Washington is still trapped in a Cold War mentality, trying to contain China instead of understanding it. Here is what people forget. China is a country that dared to fight the United States head-on in the 1950s, when America was at the peak of its power. So now, China doesn't feel hardship. Endure suffering to grow stronger is part of our cultural DNA. What China truly feels is non-comfort, because comfort breeds arrogance. Throughout history, every Chinese dynasty that became too proud collapsed quickly. If I were advising the United States, I would say, don't try to crush China, spoil it, flatter it, divide it from within. Even on technology, instead of blocking chips, flood the market. Overwhelm China with chip supply. That would work far better than sanctions. Trump's first term was a real turning point. His maximum pressure strategy, trade wars, take wars, backfired completely. It united China like never before. Now the tables have turned. China can endure pain today for gain tomorrow. America struggles to endure pain after non-comfort. The US knows how to sanction others, but not how to be sanctioned. China, on the other hand, has learned both and is now gaining the power to retaliate. As a Chinese, I believe China's rise is real, but the China is living in the future narrative can also be dangerous. Arrogance has destroyed every great power in history, including China's, many times before. If China truly wants to lead this century, it shouldn't only become stronger, it must also become more humble and keep staying hungry. I'm Yuan, a Chinese founder and scholar unpacking how this country and what really works. Follow for grounded takes from someone who has lived, built, and studied both China and the world. Check my bio page for more. Thank you.
Like we love to say, China is living in the future. I hope you understand where this future comes from. There's nothing that beats proper planning and planning for common good, planning with people, planning with the best interest of everyone at heart. Do you see where this nation is heading? And when we say that China is a developing country, I don't believe that even when they will be a developed country by 2035 as they are prospecting, I don't think if there's any classification that will fit what they're up to, because what you've just seen there is not happening in Beijing, it's not happening in these towns, but check this.
China lives in the future. Probably you've seen a lot of videos about futuristic Shenzhen, cyberpunk Chongqing, but there's one place nobody talks about, and it looks like from another planet, namely Guizhou province. But what is so amazing about it? Well, honestly, everything. First of all, the tallest bridge in the world, the Huajiang Grand Canyon Bridge. You've seen these videos of trimmed mountains? Yeah, it's here in Guizhou. When it opens on 28 September this year, it will be the tallest bridge on Earth. The deck will hang 625 meters above the Beipan River, and it's twice the height of the Eiffel Tower. But it's not only a tourist hotspot, it will cut travel time across the canyon from 1 hour to 90 seconds. Number 2, the world's largest radio telescope. Its dish is 500 meters wide, as big as 30 soccer fields. It's so sensitive that the phones are banned within miles, more sensitive than Gen Z. And it has already discovered over 1,000 new pulsars, helping us map the universe and maybe even search for aliens. We need to search for aliens. So Guizhou has incredible things above the ground, but what about underground? Well, that's where we find Asia's longest cave system, Shuanghe-dong. Over 400 kilometers of passages with underground rivers, waterfalls, and giant caverns. It is China's deepest known cave system, which hasn't been completely explored. So if you're a cave diver, you still have a chance to abandon your family. And let's not forget to mention that this is the most mountainous region of China. Over 90% of its land is just mountains and hills, which look like that. Truly beautiful region, but also very difficult to build infrastructure. Nonetheless, it didn't stop China to build 30,000 bridges and countless tunnels, and connect 9 cities with high-speed railway. And we're talking about one of the least developed provinces. My country doesn't even have bullet trains. So what do you think? Is it a good thing that China is building so much advanced infrastructure on such a rugged terrain? Do you think it's worth it? Let me know what you think about it. Also, would you like to come to Guizhou? Let me know.